desk. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Good evening. My name is Oren.
And I'm Travis.
And we're here in response to your situation with your current UNT Writing Lab, and I'd like to let this video executive summary kind of sum up what we're going to talk about.
Hello, I'm Oren, and I'm here from Bruton Henry Software Solution. We want to offer every student the vehicle they need to succeed. We all know learning is a journey, and that this journey is different for everyone. Here at Bruton Henry Software Solutions, we understand the needs of everyday UNT students. Some students might have families and other responsibilities, and they can't make it into the writing lab. So we want to give them the online experience where they can customize, navigate, and play with language.
Okay. So we see language and using the UNT Online Writing Lab as a journey from point A, not knowing how to write, being a student who's kind of thrown into this system, and to point B, being a good writer. And for this kind of journey, what do you need?
Well, you need a vehicle to get you there. And right now, the vehicles we're looking at, this is how we see the state of online writing labs today. It's old and it's static and it's not very interactive.
It's a Model T4 from the beginning of time, and it's really, it has all the tools that you need, but they're just not functional and they're not made intuitive for the user. So we want to class it up a little bit. This ain't your grandpa's writing lab.
Yeah. This is what we want them to experience. We want clean lines, we want smooth contours, we want sophisticated technology to engage the student as they're using it. We want it to be very intuitive, very interactive, because we want to keep them coming back. We want them to like it and use our site. We want to garner the most users that we can.
And this format of having a vehicle interior is available to everyone who's ever used a car, who's ever driven a car. Everyone's been in a car. So we think that this will allow users to understand immediately and figure out what they need to do and how to use the writing lab.
Right. They'll be in a familiar situation. They'll know exactly. They'll be familiar with all these different elements of the car, and so that way they can intuitively roll around inside the website.
What this also allows us to do is to turn writing from a chore to a game, right?
Absolutely.
And so we have some ideas about navigation. You can use your mouse and keys, directional pad on your computer to navigate through the site and experience games in a new way through writing and learning at the same time, right?
So I'll show up through your windshield and we can play a game.
This is a similar type of idea. This is HTML5. You can use HTML5 in many ways to make any sort of game that you wish. This one's a very simple rudimentary game, but it shows, see, I just ran into something. But every time something crosses your path, or I am intentionally running into things, you can be confronted with a question.
Right.
So we have the spelling hellway for people who really didn't do that well in school, people who weren't prepared for spelling. This is an idea. Can prepare you for the GSP, right? Mm-hmm. And moving on, you have the grammar gateway. You're cruising through the mountains, answering grammar problems. You're competing with others, right?
Absolutely.
On the road of life, the road of education. that punctuation point where you have to not hit those trees, right?
Right.
You have to avoid the punctuation mistakes of your grandfather.
Well, and then we can make this game so that it throws different things at you. So, say for the style game,
With the style
we
game,
can have, maybe a nominalization flying at you. You have to avoid that, but you get a point if you catch the action, the adjective.
absolutely.
So
Here's an example.
Yeah.
You've come across an action and adjective deer on the road. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to have to figure out quickly, within a time period, what the action, adjective, the sentence is. And I think it's probably last.
What do you think last is the action, the adjective?
I think so.
Okay. Well, so you clicked your answer. Oh, I think you got the wrong answer.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's awful.
Well, I hope you learn from your mistake. And
That's going to teach me.
That's what we can do, is that if a student does pick something wrong, then we can give them a hint or a reminder or
You're
let
gonna
them
have
know.
PETA after me.
Oh,
No deer were harmed.
no deer were harmed.
It was on. He was
a
off
freshman.
screen. He was off screen.
So, one thing though is that all the statistics will be kept and tabulated, and there will be a leaderboard that all students can access and see.
So it basically creates like an online gaming community, just like you would like for any of your iPhone games or Android games. And so it kind of helps bring together the whole UNT, anyone that's in the writing community at UNT.
Or anybody who just has questions about writing or is not doing well in writing. And it also provides the tutors with information about how the student is doing, what they're not doing well in, what they're doing well in, and how they can better tutor those students.
Right, tutors will be
according
able
to
to,
their needs.
to focus on their weak spots. They'll know what their strengths are, so we can sort of start to get a sense of where they're at and start zoning or homing in on those problem areas.
Right, for each student. And then, it's a competition. And what good is a competition if you can't win anything?
Right.
Honestly.
So what we envision is corporate sponsorship. We want to have advertisements throughout these games, and
I mean, we already have our Wells Fargo connection with UNT. Papa John's, everyone loves pizza, and of course, Bruton Penry Enterprises works closely with AutoZone. So the best students of the week or the month could win a free oil change, and AutoZone, Papa John's, and Wells Fargo could put up signs in the game, where they are getting exposure and we're getting revenue as well.
absolutely. And we want to take that revenue and just pump it right back into the website, keep developing, keep expanding, keep trying to broaden our base.
Right, and also giving kids a reason to compete and enjoy and develop new games, right?
Absolutely, that's the point.
Okay. So, what's any road trip without music?
Not a road trip at all.
Not a road trip at all. What do kids want nowadays?
Well, I think they want a little bit of help.
I need somebody help, not just anybody help. I need someone help. When I was younger, so much than today.
So, with Pandora stations that you can listen to through the website, students are more likely to choose the music that they like and stay on the website longer.
Right. See, the students can tailor their profile, tailor their usage of the website. They can customize it, and that gives them kind of ownership in what they're doing. It allows them to participate. And so that way they can use, death metal while they're doing the racing game, or they can listen to, Josh Groban while they're studying for citations.
Right.
So, which actually brings us to our next point is, how do we find a way to explain those things that really we can't make into a game, or there's just no way you're going to remember?
Well, what do you keep in your glove box? I keep all my tools and the doohickeys, things that I can crank my tires if I need to change them, and
Right.
all my all-in-one tools. So there's your external resources and writing resources, automated paper rating and proofreading after hours when there's nobody to help online.
Right, and the other thing is that you can get these writing resources, which is another familiar way for them to get around. Like, if they want to come in and they just need to find out how to do APA citations, that's all they want to do. They don't need to go through all these other things. They can just click the writing resources. They know that all their instructions are going to be in their glove box, and they'll just click it and they can use it, so they can
Right.
find whatever information they need,
and then answer the question that they might have answered wrong, or help them with their papers. We have paperrater.com. It's a free online proofreading where if there's no one to help you on the online chat, then you can use this. It's free. And scan my essay for plagiarism, so on.
Right, so these two things will go deeper than any Microsoft Word application is going to do. They're going to give you a better proofread, and so that's going to be something that helps them, you know, like Oren said, if it's after hours.
Help themselves.
Exactly, so it gives the students a little bit more control over what they're going to learn and how they learn it.
So then we have our OnStar. Where would we be without our, you know, navigation help? You know, where's my nearest Taco Bell? How do I? What is grammar? Or you know, whatever questions that you need
Any
to
questions
ask.
that pop up.
Right.
Well, that's where the chat comes in.
Right.
So we'd like to have a chat operator during the UNT Writing Lab open hours, and that way
we could pay for that with revenue from the site, and you know, maybe add a few more tutors who will constantly answer questions and
because
stay online.
one of our goals of this website is to help out the people that are distance learners or they're commuters and they don't always have time to come in. I mean, that's one of my